Hi, welcome to the latest Manchester United news. The main topic is the Bruno Saga. Is he staying or is he going? How much is he getting paid? Is Al-Hilal getting desperate? Is Manchester United ready to let Bruno go? And then the second topic is the Manchester United and how it performed in the Asian series and how it especially did in the second game against Hong Kong 11. So let's start with the Bruno saga. This is crazy. I'm going to give credit where it's due. Go look up Ben Jacobs' interview, especially with United Stand and United View, to get all the details because he is so thorough with all the details on what's going on between Bruno Fernandes and the Saudis. There's a lot to discuss, so let's get into this. So this is what Ben Jacobs mentioned on Twitter. He said Al-Hilal have held productive talks with Bruno Fernandes' agent, as revealed yesterday. Fernandes is Hilal's top target, and President Fahad bin Nafel has pitched directly to the Manchester United captain. Hilal has made it clear to Fernandes that he must join before the Club World Cup in the 1st to 10th June window. Understand the offer to Fernandes will be withdrawn in 7 days. That's 7 days since Friday. Hilal are prepared to make an offer of 100 million euros to Manchester United, while Fernandes can earn £700,000 per week plus bonuses if he agrees to the move. Hilal already have budgets signed off as the funds allocated to try and sign Mo Salah have been retained by the club. So Al Hilal is really desperate. So they have funds to get a big name player because they were initially allocated funds to get Mo Salah, but obviously they wanted him as a free agent, and they had allocated money for his salary, which would have been on par with what Cristiano Ronaldo was getting. But as you know, Mo Salah has signed with Liverpool, so that's out the window. So they are really desperate. They need players to be signed before they get ready for the Club World Cup. So they want to get done between the June 1st and June 10th. But that is when the transfer window opens, at least the first part of it. So they are trying to get an answer from Bruno Fernandes. So initially on Tuesday they gave him a 72-hour deadline, and I mean it wasn't a hard deadline, but they just wanted him to give an indication that he's open to it. And guess what? Bruno was open to it. I mean, it's intriguing because he's getting paid crazy money. So he sent his agent over. The agent's been discussing with them, and now they've given him a 7-day deadline starting on Friday to come back to them and let them know that, hey, what's going on? Are you going to come or you're not going to come? And I don't blame Bruno. I mean, with the amount of money, life changing money, which is being put on the table, there's a good chance that he might decide, or Al Hilal might up the terms and give him more money. So who knows what's going to happen, but the next 7 days will be crucial. But Bruno Fernandes is their number one target. They have other players that they are looking at, and this was also mentioned by Ben Jacobs that they were looking at Yuri Tillemans and possibly Edison from Atalanta. But they want Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes is their number one target. And it's crazy because Al Hilal is the representative from Saudi for the Club World Cup. They also need a striker. They are trying to get Osman, but they're holding off on getting Osman because they want to get Cristiano Ronaldo. Not the club, but some guys in the ministry are pushing Cristiano Ronaldo. But Cristiano Ronaldo plays for Al Nasser, who is there, who's Al Hillal's rival. So there's a possibility that there might be a loan from Al Nasser to Al Hilal for the Club World Cup, and then he goes back. Absolutely ridiculous. And there's a chance that Ronaldo might not accept this, but there's the possibility. So Osimhen is on hold. There's no news on Osimhen, but they want to get this Bruno Fernandes deal done, and they're hoping that they can change his mind. And but they need to know quickly because they don't have a lot of time. And guess what? That's good. That's a good negotiating position for Bruno Fernandes, and especially Manchester United, because once Bruno Fernandes gives them the green light, guess what? They're going to go to Manchester United and practically be on their knees, trying to get a deal done. And so the initial fee which was mentioned was 100 million euros, which might be 80 million pounds, and that's absolutely no go. So Ben Jacobs mentioned that, oh, it can also go up to 100 million pounds, and possibly even higher than 115 million pounds, which was the amount Chelsea paid Brighton for Caicedo, possibly. And that is the British transfer record. So as I mentioned in previous videos, I'm okay with either situation playing out because I think Bruno Fernandes is vital for this team, and we really require him, not only just for his playing ability but for his leadership. But if he changes his mind and he wants to go, then we should get the best deal for Manchester United, and that will help fund our summer signings. But Ruben was asked this question. So after the game against the Hong Kong 11, one of the questions, or actually two or three of the questions on Bruno Fernandes were asked to Ruben, especially, hey, do you think Bruno is going to go? And this is what Amarin had to say. I don't think so. I don't know for sure. Nobody knows, but I don't think so. I think he is seeing us taking some actions to change all the things, and I think he saw that, and I think he wants to stay. So it's becoming very clear that Ruben doesn't want him to go. He wants to hold on to him, and I don't blame him because the lifespan of a manager is very short. So he doesn't care that, oh, you might get 120 million pounds and that might buy me some randos, some random players. He wants Bruno Fernandes because he wants to win now, and the next season is crucial. I mean, what if he gets 120 million pounds and then he's let go 10 weeks into the next season? How does that matter to him? So I can see it from his perspective. He really wants Bruno to stay, and he's trying to sell the project to Bruno that, hey, things are not going to be the same as before, that you can see that we are changing everything, and please, I hope you stay. And he thinks that he's going to stay because the tone of his responses, it looks like he's confident that Bruno might stay. But again, every man has a price. So I mean, it can change in an instant. I mean, Al Hilal could get really desperate and start giving him crazy money, although he is getting crazy money right now. And Bruno might change his mind early next week, and so anything is possible. And another question which somebody asked him about the Bruno transfer fee, because obviously they asked him, hey, if Al Hilal wants him and they're offering crazy money, shouldn't you accept it? And this is what Ruben had to say. Yes, we can find another way to earn money. Of course, I'm the manager, I'm the coach, but sometimes it's the decision of the player. But of course, I talk with him, I explain things. I just have that feeling he wants to stay. And he's saying no to a lot of things, but he shows he wants to win. He's really young, he's really good, he needs to be in the best league in the world. So I think Bruno has his mind mostly fixed on staying with Manchester United, but he wants to listen. He wants to listen, and that's why he sent his agent over. He wants to be polite and just listen, because if the dial gets turned up 5 or 6 notches, who knows? So I don't think it's a done deal yet that he stays, but there's a really good likelihood that he will stay. And but who knows? Let's see what happens next. But please go watch Ben Jacobs' interview on the United stand. It's crazy the amount of, because there's a lot of things going on, especially in Saudi, that they really want Bruno Fernandes. So really want Bruno. So there's a good chance that things might get really weird next week before it settles down. But it will settle down, because it has to, because they need an answer before they get before the window closes. And how does this sale or non-sale of Bruno affect Man United's purchases? So obviously they lost Liam Delap. So Manchester United came into this window having 100 million pounds for purchases, assuming no sales, but they are going to sell, and that would add to their kitty to buy players. But they have 100 million pounds, so that's why they went for Matthias Cunha, which was 60 something, and they wanted Liam Delap, 30 something, so that would have come to 90 something pounds. And so they would have been able to get those two over the line and then spend time thinking about who to get next. So obviously you lost Liam Delap. Every club, especially the size of Manchester United, will have options, because they knew that there's a possibility that Liam Delap wouldn't come to Manchester United. And this is what Ben said, that Thomas Tuchel got with Liam Delap and tried to convince him that, hey, go play the Euros, under 21 Euros this summer, then go to Chelsea. Not essentially go to Chelsea, but play Champions League football, and then there's a possibility that you might get picked for the World Cup. And since we couldn't offer European football, I think his mind was essentially made on that, hey, Chelsea is a better option, that he better go there. I mean, a lot has changed since last Wednesday, because since that loss, but just when you hear all this, it makes it even much worse. So now that Liam Delap is gone, oh, then can Man United just go in and get Embuemo? No, because the Embuemo is much more expensive than Liam Delap. So they need now they need sales to get Man United back on the negotiating table, because they don't have the money to pay Brentford. And Brentford has an upper hand, because even though Embuemo is in the last year of his contract, they have an option. So you can't go and lowball Brentford and say, hey, year's 40, except take it or leave it, because they will leave it, because they have another option. They can extend his contract by 1 year and then hold on to his value. So Embuemo is it's going to take time. So, and there's a chance that Man United might look at Mateta, but who knows what's the price for that, and whether Crystal Palace are going to sell him. And Crystal Palace just won the FA Cup, so there's a chance they want to hold on to him for the Europa League. So I mean, it's you need sales. Essentially, Man United now needs sales. And obviously, the biggest sale would be Bruno Fernandes, but right now it does not look like it's going to happen, though there is a possibility. But what about the other sales? So Marcus Rashford, he wants Barcelona. Barcelona want Marcus Rashford, but there's a but Man United want 40 million, but I don't think they're willing. They're trying to delay it as much as possible so that they can get into a situation where they offer a loan with an option to buy, and I don't think Man United is going to do that nonsense again. So I think, but that's going to be a long time. So brace up. So then there's the Sancho situation. Chelsea wants Sancho. Sancho wants Chelsea, but Chelsea doesn't want to pay Sancho the same wages that Man United was paying. So there's a lot of negotiations between Chelsea and Sancho, and if that's agreed upon, then yes, Sancho gets sold and Man United. So fingers crossed, every Man United fan, because otherwise he's going to be sent back with a £5 million penalty. So hopefully that gets resolved as soon as possible. And who else is there? There's Garnacho. So I'd mentioned in a previous video that, yeah, that Ruben had come into the had come into the dressing room and told Garnacho that, hey, you better find a club because you're not playing here anymore, or something to that essence. But so obviously now this has become public news. Now who knows that whether Garnacho can be sold for the £60 million that we had initially set his price at. So hope, yeah, there's a good chance that Garnacho won't play again. I mean, Ben Jacobs was quite confident in saying that Garnacho has probably played for the last time for Manchester United, and there's a good chance that even Rashford, who was suspended under Ruben is not going to play again. So those two sales have to go through. But let's see what happens. Well, first is Bruno Fernandes situation has to resolve, because depending on that, whether you have funds or you don't have funds, all the other dominoes will fall in place. So let's see what happens. This if you have any questions or any comments, feel free to leave it in the comment section. Also, please like and subscribe. It just helps the channel grow and reach out to more viewers. Thank you. The second topic which I want to discuss is Man United's performance in the Asian Tour. So they just played Hong Kong 11 and they won 3-1. Obviously, a lot of people were not pleased with the team's performance. They were just looking at the scores, because Man United initially conceded one goal, and the chatter on social media was that, oh, this is the same old Man United that it can't win. And luckily, at the half, Man United made wholesale changes. I think the whole team was changed, and Man United were able to score 3 goals, 2 goals by Chido Obi and 1 goal by Aiden Heaven, the Halen boys. So Man United got the win, and the noise died down. But what I don't understand is, even though Man United lost to the ASEAN 11 1-0 and won earlier yesterday by 3-1, their performances were essentially the same, at least according to me, because I thought they were able to keep possession, but in front of goal they were not able to finish. But in the second match, a lot of changes were made. Chido came on, Mount came on, and they were able to connect and they were able to score. So just look at these stats, essentially comparing the two matches to each other. In both matches, the opponent had so the Hong Kong 11 had 3 shots on target, and ASEAN 11 had 2 shots on target, and both of them were able to score once. But look at how many shots on target Man United had. Against the ASEAN 11, Man United had 4 shots on target, and against the Hong Kong 11, they had 12 shots on target. We were not able to even test the keeper. He was able to make a lot of saves. But with respect to possession, the possessions were in the high 60s, low 70s in both the matches, and even the pass accuracies were essentially the same. We were able to keep the ball, bop it around, move it around. I thought the the young players and the old players were able to play together and keep possession. It's just that in the final third we couldn't do anything. So, and people are looking at that and saying, hey, this is a Ruben problem and he's not good enough. But what I see is that this is more like a personnel problem, that once you fix the personnel problem through the transfer window, you should be playing much better and scoring a lot more goals and essentially winning a lot more games. I still don't see how this is a manager problem. I think the management is seeing that Ruben is doing a great job and is just being unlucky with the results, and hopefully and that's why they are all in on supporting him. And he also looks quite calm in the press conferences, and he had mentioned that essentially he's not going to be taking a vacation. He's going back to Manchester and he's going to be working. So hopefully the youngsters got a lot of game time and improve. So even if our expected sales don't go through, or expected purchases don't come in, Man United still has played a lot of young players, and they might end up using them. So who knows what the near future holds, but I'm pretty confident that Ruben Amrin will be successful in this outfit.